Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm Amanda of Inspiring Inkin. Welcome to my craft room. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you this lovely bee box. It's a great size box for all sorts of different gifts, but the best bit about it is it opens on the diagonal. So let me just slide it off. So there you can see you've actually got a solid box inside and a two-part lid. So let's turn the camera around and get crafting. Now, before we start, I just want to apologise for my slightly husky voice today. I've got a bit of a head cold and my voice is going. So I'm hoping to get this video done before my voice goes completely. So here is the bee box in close-up. I have stamped in Stays on ink onto gold foil, and this actually is part of the poppies elements, but equally a circle of cardstock would work as well. And it's tied up with ribbon, so I'm just going to take the ribbon off and then pull the box apart, and it slides apart and you've got this solid cardstock base. So I'm going to walk you through all of the bits and show you the templates and so on. Don't worry if you don't catch the measurements as we go along. If you scroll down, whether you're on YouTube or on my blog, you will see all of the measurements, the cutting instructions and everything. So let me move this one out of the way and show you what we're going to start with. So here are the templates. I always make templates. If you've seen videos of mine before, I just find it easier, and it means then I can refer back to these. So I just make them in cardstock and write the measurements and everything on them. So this is for the box base and this is for the lids, and you actually need two pieces. So I've already cut the lid pieces. This is actually the Golden Honey DSP. It's part of Celebration, which runs from January to March 2020. Now I know worldwide this paper keeps coming in and out of stock. Celebration items are always while stocks last, so make sure you don't miss out. And get your order in to get this for free. I've used this one obviously on the original box. Let me just reach that lid. This is one of the other patterns. But what I've purposely done is picked a paper that isn't directional. So the bees and the hives are sort of going in all different directions. If you use a directional paper, potentially you could end up with stripes or spots going in weird directions. So it's better to use a non-directional paper. Okay, so I've got two pieces of those, 10 by 6, and then I need to cut this piece. So I'm using some Poppy Parade cardstock. Excuse me. And I previously have done a video on boxes and lids, and I'll put a link below to that video. One of my biggest frustrations as a paper crafter has been having lids and boxes that don't fit. It just drives me crazy. I want the lids to sit snugly. And I've come up with this thing that I call the 16th of an inch rule. And basically what you do is you decide how big your box is going to be, and in this instance it's actually a piece of cardstock that's 8 inches and it's scored at 2 inches, so that actually gives me a 4-inch square box. And the 16th of an inch is that the base is a 16th of an inch smaller than the lid. So the score lines are exactly the same, but you start out with a piece of cardstock that is a tiny, tiny, tiny sliver smaller. And that will mean that your lid will fit. I know I'm probably not explaining it that great currently, but watch the video attached or below and in the description, and it will all make sense, I promise. So basically, I need to cut this cardstock at 7 15/16 of an inch square. Now, I know that you are going to want to know where that is on the scorer and on the trimmer, and every trimmer is different. This is the brand new Stampin' Up trimmer, and I'm going to try and zoom in as close as I can. So these numbers here, these are the inches. So you've got 7 inches there and 8 inches there. That large line is 1/2 inch, but if you look in between, there are 8 lines to take you to 1/2 inch. And then there are another 8 lines to take you to 8 inches. So there are 16 of these little tiny lines. So the line that we are going to, and I'm going to go this way so that there isn't shadow, it's that little line there before the 8 inches. That's where I'm going to cut. So I'm going to line it up just there and turn it again and line it up there. And you can see how much of a small amount that actually is. But honestly, it makes all the difference. Right, so that's the scoring. No, that's the cutting all done. And let's do the scoring. So I'm going to score at 2 inches on all 4 sides for this one. And then for these 2, I'm going to put the 10-inch piece at the top and score at 4 inches and 6. The 10-inch piece at the top, 4 inches and 6 inches, and then I'm going to turn it around. So I've got the 6-inch piece at the top. I'm going to score at 2 inches. And the same, ooh, let me move that washi tape. And the same there. Okay, that's all the scoring and cutting done. So with this patterned paper, I'm just going to gently fold on the score lines first. I don't want the paper to crack, so you just want to be careful and gentle. And I'm going to use my bone folder, and I'm actually going to do it on the reverse. And it doesn't matter which way that you do this, but basically it's reinforcing that score line. I'll put that there. Okay, so that's those, and now these ones. Okay, I'm going to get my scissors and I'm going to make 2 cuts on 2 sides. So I'm going to cut there and the same in opposite. Now then, these square pieces are actually going to fold in, and what I want to do is, let me move that out of the way, is to cut a tiny triangle sliver off each of the edges of the squares. And basically all that does is it just allows those pieces to tuck in a little bit easier. And it means the box will just line up better. So let's just pull that. So that's those. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put some glue, and obviously my favourite glue here is Tombow. You can use like a double-sided tape if you want to. Don't use like a tape runner. They're just not going to be strong enough for a box. It's much better that you use either a liquid glue or a tape. And let's just squash that in. Okay, so that's the first two. And here are the second two. And you'll see these do just butt up together. But just make sure that the edge of the box there is square. And don't let go before it's stuck. I wasn't sure that doing a video full of cold was actually the best plan, but we'll see. If I can make this with a cold, then, you know, it'll show you how quick and simple it is. So there we go. There is the box base. And the two lid pieces. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to fold this point to this score line to make a triangle. And because it's square, it's easy. And it will just fold really nicely. And do the same on this side. And then we're going to glue that down. I find it's better to glue this down rather than I did when I was designing this. I did try cutting it off, and it just didn't give such a neat finish. And it also gives a bit more rigidity to the box. So that's that one. So let's just do the same here. And obviously this is the bit that's being taken on and off as well, so you need it to be fairly sturdy and not flimsy. Okay, and then we're going to do exactly the same as we did with the box base, but we're just going to cut these two pieces. And if I just show you, this is actually going to go together like so. So again, we're going to cut slivers off this piece here, and this square is going to fold in between the two rectangles. So it's actually hidden. So do the same again here. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do is put glue on this side first and lift that up so that that piece is going to fold onto there, and then this piece is going to fold on the top, but don't glue it yet. What you want to do is actually put this on your box. There is always a margin of error with boxes and scoring and so on. And by doing it this way, you can be sure that the lid is going to fit on the box. So the seam piece here you want on the top. So that's going to go that way. And then we're going to tuck that in and put glue on here. And tuck that up and pop that down. Just give it a second. Okay. So that's all tucked in. So that's that piece. So again, we're going to do the same. So you're going to put glue on here. And we're going to stick that there. And then this piece, let me pop that on there. It's going to go on like that. Just make sure they're nice and snug together. Like so. And then put the glue on. Pop that down. And that is going to sit nicely like that. And then the box is done. So that's the two lid pieces. All done. There we go. Okay. So let's just talk about the decoration. On the original box, I have some black ribbon. This is crinkled seam binding ribbon, and you'll find it in the mini catalogue. Now, I love this ribbon. It's white, and you can colour it using whatever you want to. Inks or blends work really well. Now, on this one, I didn't have a black blend, so I actually used Stays On ink, and it's worked really well. The coverage is great, but the ribbon itself is a bit crispy. It's fine, but it's not as soft as this is. So for this one, I have got a piece of ribbon, and I've got my Poppy Parade blend. And I'll just show you how easy it is. So just get your marker and you just drag it over the top. And so obviously you can get like a single colour, but you can get gradients of colour. You could do a rainbow ribbon. You could do all sorts of things. So that gives you lovely Poppy Parade ribbon, which obviously matches the inside. So I'm just going to wrap that around. Ooh. And try and tie a bow on camera, which is always fun. Let's just grab that. This ribbon ties really nicely, so it works really well. Let me just trim those bits off. Ooh. Now, let's just check. Yay! I tied it the right way and everything. That's really good. I'm just going to actually pull that, make that a bit smaller, trim that down a bit. There we go. Okay, and then the last thing to put on is the bee embellishment. Now, what you want to do is just to put the sticky on half of it. And you can see I've already done that on this one. So let me move that around. And I've actually used double-sided tape on mine. So I've just put it on one side so it will stick. I'll just move it to the centre. So it's not actually attached to both sides because obviously you want to be able to open the box. But it kind of looks like it is. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Okay, so there is my finished bee box with the diagonal opening. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, apologies for my croakiness. Hopefully I'll be feeling much better soon and can get some more videos up for you. All of the products that you've seen today can be purchased in my online store. You can either scroll down, whether you're on YouTube or on my blog, or go to my blog, which is www.inspiringinkin.com, and there is a shop now button. Do subscribe both here on YouTube and on my blog. If you're on YouTube, click the subscribe and the bell. That will make sure you get notifications when I do new videos, and there is a sign up on my blog as well for inspiration there. I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.